going on, everybody?
Welcome.
What's up?
It looks like there's been community happening over in the live chat since about 9:15 or 7. What is it? I guess it would be 7:15.
6:15 Central.
6:15 Central. Yeah.
Hey, there's my buddy Randy. I was out hunting with Randy this morning for a little bit.
Any action?
No, but it was fun watching Randy try to get around the woods with one fake leg.
Are you ever gonna let him just let that go?
No.
Did you guys find any birds?
He
We
said
didn't
no.
go. We the first spot we went, Randy took us to, and he was trying to find it off one of those habitat maps, cut maps. We didn't find it, and then we went to another spot down the road. I turned in 1-2 track too early, but ended up finding a place that I absolutely was like, shit, I don't know where I'm at, but this is gorgeous. Nothing but tag alders and a creek, and
Nice.
I'm going back later in the year. I don't know. Maybe they're just. I've been in this general section. There's birds there. I just, of course, we had his old setter, which he was just kind of, doing. He's an old dog, and we had Taffy. But Taffy was digging around out there. I thought at least we'd have a flush that I could get mad at her for, but nothing. We only hunted not even 2 hours altogether. Well,
Dryfly has pointed out that we need to probably have an introduction at the beginning of every show to let people know who we are.
Yeah, we need a big. It's called a big voice intro guy.
Well, that's what he's saying. I think he needs
Good
an
morning,
announcer guy.
everybody.
I think he's volunteering
Good morning,
himself for it.
You know who we need to get to do that is Brent Kroll. That
Yeah.
guy's got a sweet deep voice.
yeah, I told him I'm going to have him do some intro work for me.
Oh, he doesn't even try. He's got the radio voice. Does he work in radio?
No, he's a physical therapist.
Oh, nice.
But I'll bet you when he tells you something, you listen to it. You're like, really? My leg's
yeah.
epic?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, there, your leg is seemed to be a little bit out of the whack of who.
Yeah, he's got it.
What is this? New comments.
Oh,
So, not sure if you know this, but
Howdy, Randy.
It still says Friday. Yeah, I should probably fix that. Good
Huh.
call out, Mike.
Oh, in the probably the bio or the YouTube channel.
Yep. So you guys have probably noticed that Tyler's not here today. He went and scheduled himself a sharptail camp out at his place. So I know he's entertaining a bunch of hunters doing a bunch of hunting. Probably cleaning birds by now, if I'd had to guess.
That might be. That tends to happen in evenings out at Sharptail Ridge.
Yeah. So that's it. It's exciting for us because I think we're going to try something new tonight. And if you guys are following social media, we're going to have a bunch of degenerates jump on and maybe share a little bit about their opening weekend and successes, maybe some bird reports. So we're going to probably start in that in about, 10, 15 minutes. But I'm excited to kind of put some names to faces together.
I'll be right back. Puppy's got to go in the truck.
Puppy's gotta go in the truck. Uh-oh.
bad puppy. Bad puppy. Where'd my bad puppy? Oh, she's laying over there with Bravo.
Scented candles in the outdoors. I'm sure they've got scented Tyler is skipping. You've done any other hunting yet? Besides, look at that puppy.
Oh, everybody loves a puppy. Hi, puppy. Good night, buddy.
What a mean owner throwing him out in the truck like that.
I went out Saturday for maybe about a total of 3-4 hours, maybe not even that much walking. I took out a news reporter from News 3 in Kalamazoo.
Nice.
And, he got a hold of me. He's doing a story on not becoming a black hunter, but being a black hunter and how to get into the game. And he's been in it pretty long, but he doesn't have a bird dog, and he got a job here in Kalamazoo, and he'd been reading about Woodcock. He wants to get a Woodcock. So we went out Saturday, but it was, we put up one bird. He did get one shot off though, but he missed.
Is this his first time bird hunting?
No, he was assigned to he was doing news in Great Falls, Montana, and somebody took him sharptail hunting all the time. So he just fell in love with walking with the dogs,
Yeah.
And so I took him out with Bravo, but Bravo literally ran out of gas halfway through the hunt. You know, I knew he was old and fat like me, but I got more hunting me than Bravo does right now.
Oh, poor dog.
But
it just probably didn't work him enough.
Well, I know I didn't. I didn't do anything. Hey, we should have had Lori tell us about that. Larry Card's. I don't know how to say your last name, Lori, but it's Storic.
Stroik or Stroik?
Strike? I don't know. Anyway, they had a ladies grouse hunt this last Saturday in Michigan. Lori, type in a couple details when you get a chance. The ladies got 4. Well, that was quick. The ladies got 4 woodcocks.
Nice.
Well, I think I saw her post, and she had mentioned that most of the women there were all brand new hunters. So they were doing a lot of R3 work going on there, a lot of recruiting. Let me see if I can find her on Facebook. Maybe she'll just jump on real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, everybody wants, or I seen, not everybody, I guess a couple people were asking about recap from Sharptail Ridge.
Oh, I thought they were asking about my hair. My hair's gone.
Oh, but I love it, Nick. I am so proud of you.
Show the fans.
Yeah, get that. Look at that. That is nice.
And for old time's sake, can we see a stash up close and personal?
Pretty snazzy, huh?
Yeah, the hair is better than the stash.
Huge forehead.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Forehead here.
Hey, Lori, I just sent you a link if you want to.
I did just
jump
get
in and
back
talk about it
from
real quick.
North Dakota, and today's been kind of a funny day because I'm riding the high of a great trip out to Sharptail Ridge. We did well out there. It was a ton of fun, but my dog has had a leg injury that has escalated over the last month, and I just figured out today that looks like he's got a torn ACL. So that's quite a bummer this time of year.
Yeah. And that's not your puppy we're talking about. That's your veteran.
Yep, the 6-year-old dog right in the prime. And I don't know. It's my first time through it. So if anybody out there wants to talk me onto or off of the surgery ledge, feel free. Looking for advice. I know, Ron, you've commented on it before. I just basically got the news today. So I will be I'll be making some phone calls and talking to plenty of people over the next, I don't know, couple of weeks, see what happens.
Well, and you still haven't gotten an X-ray on it, so you don't.
There was an X-ray today, yeah.
Oh, there was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They can do a physical exam and feel the laxicity in it, and they know what happened.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
The only thing we're not going to get a vet to agree or disagree with this, but I really believe Miller's was an actual injury, not a genetic thing.
Yeah.
And my vet and a good friend of mine, who you guys know, Roof, he says, most NFL players played with torn ACLs all through the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Right.
Yeah, and they got a limp. Well, I got a limp too. So, I mean, it depends on how tender it is for the dog. I'm amazed. Miller, when he stops, you'll see him hike his leg up.
Yeah.
But when he's running, I mean, he's, I don't see a difference. And the vet told me it's going to build up scar tissue and he's going to have a limp. All right,
Yeah.
But
you didn't hunt him when Miller hurt. You mean you didn't let him hunt through it? You let him rest up, and it just organically you let it heal on its own without pushing him or.
When he did it though, it wasn't hunting season. So I don't know what the ramifications of running on it are, like hunting on it. But I'll bet it's like anything. I mean, there's got to be some wolves and coyotes there that tore it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Yeah.
But the only thing is, you just don't know if the other one goes, and then you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And that's
not cheap.
No, not just not cheap. Now you got a dog that's got 2 back. Dogs can get along great on 3 legs, especially a back leg.
Right.
I mean, I know 2 dogs, one of them that ran the invitational test, and I think it did pass. He had his leg run over by his owner accidentally, sleeping behind a truck, and they opted to amputate it. The dog gets around like nobody's business. Like, it doesn't even know it's missing a leg.
Yeah. Yeah, see, the weird thing with Hartley was I noticed last hunting season a very subtle, he doesn't seem to have the same spring in his step. But I could never pinpoint it. I was thought it was his right leg, his left leg, never really had any idea what was going on. And then off, it never never got worse, but I would say it never fully went away. When we'd exercise him, he would be a little sore. Had a vet check it out about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, and just said, yeah, there's maybe like the left knee looks like a little bigger than the right knee, but he wasn't alarmed at that time. And then the last month or so, we just ramped up chasing wild birds and hunting, and it just escalated to the point where we ran him once in North Dakota, and then he wouldn't put any weight on it, and he hasn't run since, and he's got a hitch in his step that's not going away now.
So he did just the one run. You only put him on the ground once in North Dakota then?
Once, yeah. But we hunted the Wisconsin opener, and he hunted hard, which, that's just drive, but I could tell he was not 100%.
Right.
So this thing just, again, it escalated, and I don't really understand what's going on. And somebody told me it's like a rope that's fraying. So like it was fraying, and now I don't know if it's completely gone or what.
So when I know you mentioned that you talked to your breeder, and obviously, I mean,
I haven't talked to Jerry yet, but
okay, to see if it's something that's come up before in other dogs.
Yeah, I don't like, if it has, I've never heard of it with any of his other dogs, and I've seen plenty of them, so I don't suspect that's a thing. But he called me actually right before Hunter's happy hour, so I'll talk to him.
Yeah. So that aside, how was North Dakota?
North Dakota was great. It was that actually helped. I was bummed about Hartley because we figured that out early in the trip, but had 4 days of hunting, and fortunately my buddy had 3 dogs and I had Rose to keep busy with, so we really had the whole September thing. You're always prepared to get burned out of the field and have some warm afternoons, and we had that a little bit, but overall we got lucky with weather. Almost no rain, which is kind of a negative thing. It's bone dry out there, and I think from talking to Tyler and some of the other guys that were out there hunting, that certainly the dry conditions, I think, were having an effect on the dog work. I mean, there was no dew in the grass in the morning, nothing, and that's like when you get sharp tails pointed, walk in, flush, and shoot. That's when it can feel almost easy. Like you can get 3 birds in the bag pretty fast that way, and we didn't have that. We had some longer days. Now, if you ask Tyler, that guy goes out and he gets his birds one way or the other. That's not our
telephone line.
Yeah, that's not our home turf. So we have our trials and tribulations, but really we had opportunities to put birds in the bag every day. We did put birds in the bag every day. So I don't know what else you can ask for to go hunt wild birds and have opportunities to shoot at them every day. Like that's pretty good in my book.
Did you guys get into any hunts?
I never saw a hunt out there. The Huns are the bane of my existence. I go out there and I think we're kind of doing it to ourselves because we've really gotten into walking the prairie grass. We're chasing the sharptails, and the Huns are very much more closely tied to the ag, as far as I understand. Last year we hunted a spot that Tyler put us on, and Tyler could have put us on Huns, but we try to go out and get sharptails, and if you limited sharptails, then you can go mess around with Huns in the evening. That's kind of the way we always say it's going to happen, but usually it seems like it takes us most of the day to get our sharptails. So we didn't spend a lot of time specifically targeting Huns. I never saw any other guys in camp were shooting them. They're around, but I don't know what to do for Huns.
I'm not sure if this
what
is
you do is you put a low jack locator on Tyler's truck.
Yeah.
And then just get some data for a few days. Yeah. And then just go back and go to those spots.
Or you could take it and sell it to the highest bidder, because I'm pretty sure it'd be worth its weight in gold to sell that info.
Yeah.
Pike's
part of it is
they found them.
Well, I know those guys did well on Huns, and they were, again, I think in the back of my mind, I'd like to just go hunt the prairie grass and think, oh, I hope I bump a covey of Huns a day. That would be great, but it just doesn't happen. And we just really like to hunt the grass and the rolling prairie terrain. So we just did not put any time into chasing Huns, but they're there.
Mike's asking which tastes better, Huns or sharptails, and that's something that I'm hoping to answer come mid-October.
Well, if you like mild meat, Huns. If you like dark purple meat, sharptails.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Huns are just a delicacy, really.
Yeah. Sharpies are good, though.
Maybe something more like a grouse.
I love a strong meat. I think Huns and and rough grouse are boring. You know what I mean? Compared to sharp-tail, woodcock, blue grouse. Those got flavor. They got some whatever that's called. Well, hi, Lori.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I finally got the link to work.
Nice.
Well, bless your heart. So you had a all ladies hunt.
I did. It was my second annual. We had 11 ladies this year. We had 12 register, 11 showed, and 10 were brand new to grouse hunting. So we had 5 groups, basically 2 to 3 ladies a group. We had a dog handler that ran the dogs, and then we had a mentor for every lady.
That's fantastic.
Awesome.
Who put that together, Lori?
You're looking at her.
Bravo.
I knew I should have gotten a time capsule and met you 20 years ago.
Nope, I do all sorts of different events like this for ladies and children to get them in the outdoors. We've done pheasant hunts, rabbit hunts. We've done fishing events. And, the grouse event it grew. And that's what I hope to do is every time I do an event, I hope to have it grow.
So was this grouse event the first time doing it, this grouse camp, or is this something that you've been doing for a few years now?
This was the second year that we've done it.
Okay.
Last year we had 10 ladies register and 8 show. And then this year we had 12 register and 11 show.
Okay.
And one of those was a repeat from last year.
Fantastic. Is there a prerequisite for them doing it, or is it just any ladies that want to jump in can do it?
Any ladies that want to jump in, I have it all on my Wildcard Outdoors Adventures page and on the website, and I have them register there. Anywhere from beginning, all of my events are from beginners to advanced. Obviously, hunter safety, we're hunter safety instructors, so we can always help with that. But we do beginning to advance so that we can build those networks and get women to hunt together, bring women and, children together. We did have a mom and daughter out there that had never hunted together, and they both had so much fun, and we're so excited. They're looking forward to doing it again.
That's fantastic.
Right. Was the mom anywhere near my age by any chance, Lori?
She's still married.
She's still married.
I think Ron is too.
Did I ask you if she was married? I said, was she anywhere near my age?
No, I think she was a little bit younger.
So is she younger than 80?
Yes.
Okay.
Very definitely, clearly younger than 80. Okay.
But Ron, I told Brian I'd leave him for you.
Oh, great.
You just have to let me wear my slippers around.
Right.
I think I missed this, Lori, but are you in Michigan? Was this event in Michigan?
Yep, I'm in Michigan. So we did have it in Michigan. We had this event. Most of my mentors are used to hunting the area in Ogama County. So we actually all met in Rose City at one of a local business there. He let us use his place of business in the morning before he opened so we could do our registration, check licenses, get all that type of stuff done, have some coffee and donuts.
Cool.
And then we met back there for pizza and stories afterwards.
That sounds good.
That's very exciting. And you're going to do it again same time next year?
I don't know if it'll be the exact same time. This was a rough weekend because we had the youth duck hunt. We had opening doe season, the earth doe season. We actually had a lot of other things that were going on. Last year I did it in October. But what I wanted to do was give the ladies an opportunity to see the difference from beginning season to, where last year was a little later, the leaves were off, because this is such a longer season, it gives you that opportunity to see what the difference is like.
That's awesome. I'm excited to see.
What umbrella are all these? You mentioned a group, but does it get sponsorship from Pheasants Forever or RGS, or are you just doing this through what? What's the group?
I do this through my Wildcard Outdoor Adventures.
Okay.
All of my guides, I think there were 5 or 6 different chapters, both years, last year and this year, from RGS, where those are my mentors. Those are my guides that come up. They do belong to RGS.
Great.
Gotcha. Well, shout out to Lori Card.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I was talking with one of the local biologists in the area, and one of the things that we're going to look at doing in May, that's when they do the banning of the birds.
Yep.
So we're going to see if we can get some ladies together and take them out so we can observe some banning of the birds.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, you need to volunteer Ron as a local celebrity to come out and hang out with y'all.
Well, I've been trying to get him to do that, but he's just so much more important than we are.
No,
Too many commitments.
I'm a little busy, but it would have been good to bring the recorder out there and get a couple stories. I did that up at the Rough Grouse camp last year in Wisconsin. They wanted me to come up this year, but I'm heading up for a bear hunt, grouse hunt in a couple days. But
Alaska?
No, up in the UP.
Oh, cool.
Up in the UP. But no, if you give me the date, when you make your dates next year, check with me. And I don't have a dog that I could mentor, but I can meet you guys later for the pizza and the stories.
Oh, definitely.
And the beer.
The beer, yeah.
Yeah. Pizza sounds good.
Well, the place is known for its pizza, so it definitely was a good time with that.
Good.
And I don't know if I'll do September, October. I'm just going to sort of check and see what other seasons are there so that it gives an opportunity. I know it was also a bear hunt for some of the ladies that went last year. They were taking their kids out. So I was excited to see the ladies that couldn't make it this year actually took their kids out and they were able to get some venison on the table. So that was exciting as well.
Very cool.
Very cool. Well, Lori, appreciate you jumping on. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
Congrats on the event.
Thanks. Have a great night, guys.
You too.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the young lady up in the UP that shot the state record bear?
No.
She it was 622 pounds. It was her first time hunting and her first kill.
That's a giant bear. I've seen pictures of like a 500-pound bear. They're huge.
That weighs more than most grizzlies do. You realize
600
that?
pounds?
Big.
Oh yeah, that's bigger than a lot of grizzlies. Interior.
Yeah, it was enormous. It was absolutely enormous. It was a nocturnal bear, and the story was talking about that they ended up calling a houndsman to come out, and they pushed the bear out of the cover, and got it treed. I just couldn't imagine my first time hunting. I picked bear hunting and then shoot the state record.
That's called setting the bar.
I'd quit hunting right there. I'd hang my hat on it. What's going on, Joe?
What's up, Joe?
Oh, had another great weekend. You know, I might have seen a picture earlier somewhere. My dad's 60-some years old, recently retired. First band of anything ever on a woodcock this last Sunday. So,
a banded woodcock.
He shot a banded woodcock.
Yeah, over my dog, retrieved by my dog. It's a neat little cover. It was really young when my dog was in his first season, Drummond. 6 years later now, we're back in there, and we've watched the woodcock peak and now decline as the cover ages. And we had my son along. He decided to take a break, stayed in the truck. And if there's a lot of birds, we'll come back and get you. Get to the backside, that little strip there. Drummond's kind of tired. We've all been out of shape. I didn't condition any of us. And so he's just trotting along 2 miles an hour. Point, bird up, bird down. Point, bird up, bird down. The third one, Dad's like, I don't know if I hit that. Well, he's off like you hit it. So sure enough, dog comes back through the weeds, sits there in front of me, and I can see both the legs out one side, and there's a band on one of them. Wow. You probably could have heard me well up the road when that happened. But
so you said that you were hunting Drummond Island, right?
No. We're in the northern lower.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought you said you were. I don't know why I thought you were up in the UP or up on the island.
Nope. That's later in the year we travel further north, but
okay.
We've made a tradition of going into the northern lower for the early portion of the season and keeping it somewhat family. And so Dad joined me. One of my sons was with me, and starting to see grouse in the old woodcock covers. And so now it's kind of neat seeing that aging progression. I've got the older dog with the experience, and bumping a brood here or there where I wasn't before. So,
what's your feel for the birds right now, Joe? Looking good?
Our grouse counts, I think, were higher flush rate wise. Woodcock, I might be in the wrong spot. I've been watching these same covers we like to go to where that used to be a 20 woodcock flush rate, over a morning. And now we're down to 5 or 6 or 7. And it's time for me to get behind the wheel and drive. I'll go back. I'll find some more that are younger and I'll get back into it again. But we didn't lack action. If we lacked something, it was on our end, and we needed to go back to the truck and keep moving. But we saw some more traffic. There were definitely hunters out.
So you're one of the few people that I know that actually go out and specifically target woodcock specifically. Is there something about the bird specifically that you like, or is it? I know you've got young hunters, and that's kind of a bird of opportunity for a young hunter just because of the way that they fly and how well they work for the dogs. So is it more of that? Is that kind of what drives the passion because you got young hunters, or is there something about the bird itself that keeps driving you to go out and chase them?
It's the bird. It's the bird. It's the places we find them. I like. It's like eating duck. Some people don't like it. If you like those dark, full flavored birds, you're gonna love woodcock. It does help having 10-year-olds you need to keep their attention with. As well, they don't ban grouse, they only ban woodcock, right? And so I'm gonna struggle through it until I get one. I might be 80 yet, but I'm gonna keep trying. But there's something, and later in the year when we really get into the flights, down in those elder runs where there's that tiny little step across stream through the center. Mm-hmm. I just like that spot. I would go in there over almost anywhere else, and just I enjoy the place. The birds help, and I found out of all the things I can shoot and that I do shoot, woodcock have gave me the biggest fits. My worst streaks are on woodcock. I can get almost anything else figured out in a flush or two. A woodcock, I might be 20 shells deep into a miss streak. And it's unexplainable until the next day and you rest up and you somehow break it. But I've been more frustrated with those little birds. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Erratic flight paths and stuff. Yeah, they can be, they're not as predictable, I'd say.
Yeah, it's not a bird that I get to chase off. And they're, we have them periodically around. I can find them in small pockets and whatnot. But if I think we're up too high and the soil's too sandy. We're too far from the above water level. But if I start heading south a little bit towards Fife Lake and even a little bit further, pushing down into like Cadillac Lake City, we can start getting into them a little bit. But for that reason, I don't get to chase them a lot.
We noticed it was dry. Those covers were dry.
Yeah.
And the more we sat there, we said, well, we found a couple. We always would find a couple. But we started thinking it's time to go lower in altitude or get down in to a stream bed or nearer to swamps. And we just think maybe our locals migrated on us just a quarter mile down the road. But they found somewhere with a better soil or more bugs or whatever it is they need. But it wasn't next to us. So.
You got Paul said he found 54 this weekend and 25 grouse.
Hey, Paul, is that the whole group? You, Dave, and Bruce, and all the boys, or was it just you and your dog? Because if it is, that's bullshit.
I was thinking that's all 10 of them, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And they combed a good section of the state. They weren't even hunting together, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll give a quick plug if for those that don't know, Joe does a story hour. I think what day is it? It's not. I want to say Saturday, but
it's Sunday and Wednesday now at 9 o'clock.
Is it it's 2 days a week now?
It's 2 days. Yep, we went from every other day to Sunday and Wednesday, and I shoot for a half hour each time.
Okay, and it's Stories with Swanky, and it is different books about upland hunting. So if you're so inclined,
is it like a book review?
No, he's reading.
He's reading it.
Oh,
I read it. It's literally story time, and I'll pull out not only upland. I'll pull out Nash Buckingham or Capstick or I mean, we can travel the world in a book, so, you know, I don't get too tied down, but probably our next one will be another Tom Hugler chapter.
Cool.
And go from there again. But
so what you should do is in the comments maybe just drop a link to it so they can find it on your Facebook page, because you do it right on your personal page though, don't you? So
it's on my personal page. It's set to public, so all you got to do is follow Joe Swanky. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Yeah.
Also the Michigan Upland Experience,
I'll
right?
drop it in the comments. Yeah. We I put another post up today. That thing about watching a cover age. I've been at it long enough now where I have pictures back to like 2014 or 15 when I found out how to use a digital camera. And
I'm still learning.
One of those covers where I found a picture from almost every year, and you could watch the cover grow, and you know, and at the same time I can go back and look and see my flush rates going down as that ages up into more grouse cover. And it's neat to see. We're there to help, you know. That's the purpose of the whole thing.
Do you do that
show cover? And
do you do the cover photos? Do you do it with any kind of strategy in mind? Like, are you trying to take pictures of the same thing over and over again, or is it more opportunistic?
Totally opportunistic. I happen to have been there again because we are creatures of habit. I go hunt the same places and realized I had pictures of from when Drummond was a puppy all the way up, you know, and well, almost all the way up. Sometimes we're too busy to take pictures, but it demonstrated that. Or some of our other guys that put out content show food sources and life cycle habitat, and how things perform in the winter versus summer. But there's always something going on that we can help you with, even if it's just to illustrate what to look for. And a lot of that really is it.
Yeah.
So would you want people to find you on your personal page, or do you want to send them to your actual Facebook group?
For Stories with Swanky, that's my personal page, but I've set it to public. Okay. So simply by following me on Joe Swanky, you'll see when I read. It's always the same Wednesdays and Sundays if I can help it. As well as I post a lot of other public stuff. I'll repeat things from RGS or Pheasants Forever or something that's maybe more local if I can help it. But mainly it's just something I do. And then our page does the same thing at the Michigan Upland Experience. We try to help you get involved or find a way to give back or how to be more effective. A lot of those are all those things together.
So I just dropped a link. So if those that are interested in checking out stories, I just dropped it in the comment. So you should be able to find it on Facebook and Instagram. Well, Joe, we appreciate you jumping on. We'll have to touch base later in the season when you actually start getting into grouse, and I know you get pretty heavy into duck hunting too, so I'm looking forward to seeing your adventures, man.
Thanks, Joe.
they'll be. Yep, we'll see you later.
See you, Joe.
It's a pretty cool. You checked out his stories?
To get a few not revolving, progressive reports from same people every 2 or 3 years. See how things go for people.
Hey, do we get a report from the hunt with T Wood?
Well, yeah. So I was saying it when you walked away. I took Travarius Haywood is a reporter from Kalamazoo area. He spent 2 years in Great Falls, Montana, and somebody sharptail hunted him to pieces.
Oh, really?
And he got addicted to bird hunting.
Wow, that's cool.
Reached out to me. He's doing a story on being a black, like, what does it take to be a black hunter?
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially in his world. You know, he's in the news world to boot. And so he brought a photographer with, take a couple. He's actually going to put, I don't think this is like top secret, but he's going to put together a string of pictures, videos, voiceovers. He wants to put something together. We had some great conversations. You know, like when the birds aren't there, you get all kinds of conversations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was an interesting day. I mean, for one, I know he hadn't seen a lot of dog work because he thought Bravo was great. I said, this dog didn't even hunt the last 2 hours.
Just because he was moving.
Just because he was moving does not mean he was hunting.
In all fairness, if you haven't walked through the woods with a bird dog before, the first couple times the experience is amazing.
Yeah. Yep.
So the one thing I didn't tell was, so there's a spot here in Muskegon County. You know, he had limited time. I had limited time. And I told him to come back up in mid-October. And I'm sure I'd have some spots located for him. But so we get going. We're not even in the woods 15 minutes. And Bravo goes on point. And I'm looking in the cover. I'm like, and I watch Bravo move. I'm like, that ain't a bird. And I'm like, oh, shit, might be a porcupine. Oh, no, it was a raccoon. So it was the score was Bravo 1, Raccoon 0.
Really?
For those of you who don't know Bracco Italianos, they are not known for the fur drive. But he has
Bravo got some.
It's all that German talking you're doing in the kennel.
I think
it's starting to rub off on him.
I think the ghost of Zygon is still here, and I think it just went right into Bravo, because now this was not a 2-year-old raccoon, but it wasn't it was probably 8-10 pound.
What did your guest think of that?
He said that back in the day, his granddad in Mississippi would have been for dinner.
All right.
It didn't bother him a bit.
Wow.
And I said, I'd like to do something more than that today. But anyway, we did get up. It's an area that, just like Joe was saying,
Zoom in a little bit.
it's an area.
You're on TV now?
It's an area that I counted on to always go and get a few birds for a dog.
Yeah.
And I saw that tree difference really stark today, the other day. I was like, wow. There is not a lot of stem density here, and we paid the price. There just wasn't a lot of birds there.
Yeah.
Now, flight birds will come in because you got a crick, you got the state puts in a bean field, so flight birds I think are still going to land there, but locals, it's just the forest is changing.
Sure.
Or are you
What's
muted?
going on, Jeff?
Not much. How you guys doing tonight?
We're
Good,
doing well.
man.
So Jeff hails from Kansas.
The Sunflower State.
What's that?
I said the Sunflower State.
Sunflower State, and he's been out hunting chickens. Something that I hope to get to go do someday.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
Well, if you ever wanted to pick a year, this would have been the year. Between the weather, it was 48 when we started this year. Opener was Tuesday the 15th. Last year on the opener, it was 77 when we started.
Yeah.
So just 100 times better conditions. We did well opening day. There were 5 of us, including my wife, and on her second ever prairie chicken hunt. She got the first bird of the day.
Cool.
But all 5 of us should have had our 2 birds. Kind of a rookie shooter, and then I can't really even make any good excuses for the other guys. But we moved 30 to 40 birds in about 3 hours. And for a prairie chicken opener, that's pretty darn good because the birds aren't usually bunched up.
Right.
What did that 30 to 40 birds consist of? Is that 5 bird groups, 10 bird groups? What does it look like?
Anywhere from singles and pairs up to one covey that was probably a dozen birds.
Okay.
We were just consistently in the birds, groups of 5. 5 to 6 on young birds is pretty common. And I would say it was probably 80% young of the year birds to 20% adult birds.
Okay.
One of the better chicken hatches I've ever seen. And it kind of, from the reports and everybody else I talked to, it's really about as good as it could be for the Smoky Hills is the region we were hunting. And pretty solid all the way around. And the weather was just unbelievable.
When you get multi chicken flushes, are they? This might be a dumb question. I don't know if there's any consistency, but are they like sharp tails, which commonly people say they're like popcorn, where you get one, same thing?
Exactly, popcorn flushes, or they're just like the sharp tails. Okay. The only difference I can tell in hunting prairie chickens and sharp tails is chickens get way harder to hunt way sooner. Seems like sharp tails flock up later in the season, especially in snow, and they get really tough to get close to. After the middle of October, getting on chickens gets really difficult because they're flocked up and they'll fly at the first sound. I mean, 80, 100-yard flushes is pretty common on.
Zero tolerance, yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know a ton about prairie chickens. Good gosh, I gotta quit drinking.
Cherry chicken.
Cherry chickens. I'm thinking about what I'm gonna pour over top of one.
There you go.
Cherry sauce. What type of cover are you typically hunting though, man?
A lot like sharptails. It's that short grass prairie. But they will, like, we've had a pretty wet year most of the summer, so the grass is a lot thicker than it normally is, and they'll tolerate that thicker grass just because that's what they do. They seem to really like rotationally grazed pastures that don't get overgrazed, but have had cows in them. That's one of their favorite places.
Okay.
Whereas, sharptails seems like they'll be a little more, like you were talking, they're out in the hills, but you see sharptails out in the middle of stubble fields and stuff.
Yep.
It's just the sharptails like thinner cover to me. But I mean, other than that, they're really, really similar birds.
What type of dog are you hunting with?
That day I've got a wire hair. That's my main dog. I've got a young 16, 17-month-old French Brittany. She pointed her first ever there. And I've got another younger French Brittany that's at school right now. And then I've got a Griff that's usually just along for the ride. kind of like hunting with an old fat lab. But, she's got a good nose, but she's just never in a hurry to hunt.
There's a question that I seen pop up. Jeff,
Yeah.
What dogs do you use, and how do you tell the difference between a hen pheasant and a prairie chicken?
The way they flush, the way they sound are completely different than a hen pheasant. I can see where somebody who hasn't seen many chickens might mistake it for a little bit, but they're shaped different. They've got that rounded, like a football with wings is the way everybody describes them. Whereas, pheasants have, even a hen has a little bit of a tail, and they just flush different. Yeah, and to be honest with you, like in Kansas, you will see pheasants and sharptails sometimes in the same field, but it's not all that common.
Right.
And it's just, the only similarity is they're brown.
Yeah.
Well, also with, I guess once you study them too, the wing beats are a whole lot easier to,
I think I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. All you got to do is see one and see the other. Like, okay, that's not a pheasant. And
yeah,
you don't see a flash of white when you see a hen pheasant come up.
No. I know you guys have all hunted sharptails. They, like I said, when they flush, it's a lot like a sharptail. They even do that almost laughing at you cluck or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Chickens do that just like sharptails do.
Mm-hmm.
Andy's asking if it's lesser or greater chickens in Kansas.
Greater.
Yeah.
Greater, yeah. Lessers are protected. Their numbers are actually doing pretty good. Overall in Kansas, chicken numbers are doing good everywhere except for the Flint Hills regions, and which is traditionally our great prairie chicken hunting, but they've gotten to where they burn every year regardless. And sometimes they'll even do a fall burn, trying to control different stuff for the cattle. And the numbers really aren't that good there. But everywhere they don't do that, numbers have gotten really good. And the lessers are doing pretty good, but I don't see them coming out and being protected anytime soon.
How does the distribution of lesser and greater shake out? When you're hunting chickens, do you have any risk of a lesser getting up in front of you?
No, they keep that pretty well. Some of really what would be our best areas for prairie chicken is where it overlaps. That's where the numbers are really phenomenal. But they've got the line going up into greater country so that there's no chance of that. But you do you do get some spots where you'll have and you'll get hybrids too. You'll get lessers and graders on the same lek. So, that's not unheard of, especially along the I-70 corridor. I don't know if you can picture Kansas, if you've ever driven through how I-70 cuts the state east to west. The farther
East-west, okay.
Yeah, the farther out west you get on I-70, and along I-70, especially that area there, you get a fair amount of crossover.
So it sounds like they've taken measures to eliminate or very, very much reduce the killing of lessers. But is it such that if a lesser somehow made its way up into that country, like if you killed it, is that in the regulations at all?
I don't think so, because I've seen both in the air, and I don't know how you tell them apart. So
right, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
There's I don't think there's anything they could do. So.
Gotcha.
So are prairie chickens kind of your go-to bird, or is there other upland species in Kansas that you prefer chasing?
My favorite are huns, and we're leaving for Montana on Friday morning. So huns are my favorite bird, and then just the native birds, prairie chickens and sharp tails and all that. I'm going to try to get my first sage grouse in Montana. That's why we're going on in September. But I like chasing them all. Pheasants, late season pheasants are a blast. And our quail numbers are going to be really good here this year. I've got a covey here on my place, and we've gone from 15 to 25 birds from probably last year to this year. So all our numbers are looking good. But if I had to put them in order, it would probably be huns, prairie chickens, and then sharp tails, and then everything else.
Cool.
How many days a year do you think you hunt?
60 plus.
60 plus. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
I waterfowl hunt, but I can do that right here at home. So
yeah. So I guess kind of knowing that, I really kind of see us being able to put together a bird report. So knowing you hunt that much, we may come tap you on the shoulder again and ask for an update. I know Tyler's probably going to want to know too, as it's getting closer to him making his annual trek down there.
We've already talked.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. I've been up to Tyler's a couple times.
Nice.
My wife's first ever hunting trip was up to Tyler's, and we went up at the end of September 2 years ago. Before he really was having that many people there, and so she shot a hunt up there. That was one of her first upland birds, was a hun. So, and then I think I met Ron last year at the pheasant jamboree up there. I think you were there, weren't you, Ron? At Tyler's?
No,
Yeah.
not at Tyler's.
At the jamboree last year?
Not the jamboree.
The BHA maybe.
It just seems like
Was there somebody out there impersonating Ron?
He's probably
there
getting.
were a lot of people, and there was a lot of alcohol consumed. It's a little foggy, but
It sounds like a place Ron would be.
There, but I don't think I was there.
it seems like I met you at Tyler's, and I don't know if it was then or one of the other times.
Well,
But,
could have been Pheasant Fest, could have been somewhere. Yeah.
But anyway, I like to go new places. I had a blast when Tyler did that deal down in Arizona, chasing those quail. And I actually have to put, I didn't get a scaled down there, so scaled or blues are way at the top of my list of birds to get. I did get a couple merns. I never got a male. Only had one shot at one male merns. But the gambles, the way they run and the way they act, they're an absolute blast to hunt. And it's just a beautiful place to hunt.
I'm thinking I need to get out and start doing more out-of-state hunting trips.
Well, yeah, you do, but your kids are small, so good luck.
We all need to, Doug, but
Yeah.
I've got 2 years before the oldest is at an age where he can start going with me.
well, then you got the built-in excuse.
Yeah.
I've got a built-in excuse. She already told me. I should make sure she's looking. That
Here's how you do it, Doug. Here's how you do it. Once he gets old enough, you script this, and then when your wife comes in the door, you're arguing with your son, and says, "Dad, please." You're like, "No, you can't go. We are not going." And then your wife comes and goes, "Well, what's the matter?" Well, he wants to go hunting again, and she's going to go, "Well, take him. Take him."
I don't understand the problem y'all have. She told me I take both boys and the dogs. I could go hunt 50 days a year if I wanted to.
That seems to, then she's got
There
the
you
free
go.
time,
That's a
right?
good deal.
Well,
That's as good a deal as you get.
That means she has a boyfriend, so you don't want that.
You got a boyfriend that I don't know about? That she just gave
You
me.
gotta
a
leave
ring,
one
so
kid at home to supervise.
Hopefully he's rich. Hopefully he's
We'll
rich.
want her to go with you.
Or you get lucky and eventually get her to go with you. So I'm kind of at that place now in life that my wife wants
That's
to go.
cool, too.
She's gonna turkey hunt this year. So
What's
next
that?
spring she's gonna turkey hunt for the first time next spring. So
Cool.
that's the gateway to everything else, and then I'll just get her.
I got my first turkey this spring.
I've got it.
Nice.
So we turkey hunt literally 100 yards from my house. I mean, maybe a little farther. So 37 minutes into her first turkey, she killed I don't know, what was he, 25 and a half pound Tom with an 11-inch beard that came from 200 yards away, almost at a dead run. I've never done that. I told her that it really doesn't ever happen that way. So her expectations were up here, and I don't know if I can ever reach those expectations again.
We all live that every day, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. So
I would suggest getting her a dog and letting her get frustrated. Yeah.
the French Britneys are her idea, Ron. Yep.
No, it was his idea.
Well, one of them was my idea. The second one was her idea.
Don't try pawning off a French Britney off on her.
So
You've already been labeled, bud.
I had a great American Brittany, and I always wanted a French Brittany. And
it's like saying you have a silver lab.
Yeah. And I'm probably, if the French Brittany people are listening, they'll get mad because they're not French Britneys, they're EBs. But
Espanol Bretons.
Yeah. So I got one, and the little female that got her first chicken hunt, and I realized right away she was a pistol. And so she actually hunted prairie chickens last September when she was a little over 5 months old. Just running around hunting, and I hunted her a fair amount on wild roosters and quail, and she did pretty darn good, especially by the end of the season. So nice. We liked them enough to get another one. So
very cool.
But we're bird dogged out. This when we leave Friday for Montana, I've never gone on a 2-week hunting trip like that. Never been able to, so we're doing that. But we're gonna have 4 dogs in a camper for 2 weeks. So I'm not sure how that's going to go.
They'll get plenty of work, that's for sure.
We'll have to wear them out, yeah. So I found two leks of sage grouse up there at the beginning of November last year on a mule deer hunt. So cool. I'm really hoping they're still in that area, and that we're going late enough, because I've never had my dogs snake trained. I'm hoping we're going late enough to where the snakes aren't quite as thick as they normally are in September in Montana. So.
Yeah, I never did Montana, but I did Wyoming late, and I never saw a snake in Wyoming, but it was cool weather.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for. My fingers are crossed.
Yeah.
If she stops bringing me beers during the show, then she's got a boyfriend. I'm good then.
Yep.
I'm
good. I still get the bird hand out. Well, Jeff, I appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
It's been great, guys. You guys have a good season. And
hey, Jeff,
yeah.
In the rectangular state of Kansas, are you mid, south, east, west? Where in Kansas?
I'm east. I'm 30 minutes from Lawrence or 30 minutes from Topeka.
Okay, got it.
We both work in Lawrence. That's where my wife's office is, and my business is in Lawrence. So, which is 30 minutes from Kansas City. So.
Right.
So that's where we are. So I've got to drive. Other than quail, like I said, I've got some decent quail hunting around me, and some decent waterfowl hunting. But to get to the good birds, I'm at least a 2-hour drive.
Yep, exactly.
Well, Tana, buddy,
he froze up.
Yeah, he froze up.
All right, we'll talk to you later, Jeff.
All righty, fellas. You guys have a good season.
Roll Tide.
Did you just say Roll Tide?
Yeah, Roll Tide.
Is that a Kansas thing?
That's Alabama.
Well, my son-in-law went to that school, so I learned to say Roll Tide to say hello and goodbye.
That's Alabama.
Yeah.
He lied. He didn't go to Kansas then.
Hey, I was out there in January with Justin. And in fact, who was it? Brent Kroll and who else came out there? Damn it. I'm drawing a blank.
Is that where you guys got stuck?
Yeah, in that mud.
Gumbo.
That damn mud. Out that
East-West
gumbo.
roads?
Yeah. Oh, Tyler. What am I saying? Yeah, it was Tyler. They're coming back from – Brent was going out. Tyler was coming in from Arizona, and they hooked up with Justin. And we were getting into prairie chickens. It was on private land, though. Private pasture, private cattle ranch. And,
So are they an ag bird then? Or
No.
are they actually in the prairie?
They're a prairie bird.
They're way more prairie bird. I'm not saying they wouldn't go to ag,
Right.
Like a sharp tail will really adapt well to ag.
Yeah.
And from
We
what I
free
understand,
flushed them out of stubble last week.
yeah, what I really understand with prairie chickens is they're still like, no, we're waiting for the buffalo to come back.
Like the reason that sharp tails are you see more sharp tails is they need the big expanses of prairie grass, which we don't have like we used to. From what I'm editing a podcast that I did with some guys from the North American Grouse Partnership, and we talked all about prairie grouse. That's going to be out maybe tomorrow. We'll see this week, hopefully.
Are you concentrating on both species though?
Yeah, we talked about mainly sharp tails, prairie chickens a lot, and sage grouse a little bit. So really the wide open space grouse.
Yeah, that's cool. That'll be good.
What's up, Eric?
What's going on, Eric?
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad, man.
Good. So Eric actually lives up and hails from Minnesota.
Nice.
So he's been hunting Minnesota, but I think he also told me that he has also been doing some elk hunting out west somewhere. Is it Colorado or?
Yeah. Just got back from Colorado on Sunday morning.
Where are you at in Minnesota, man?
I live in Avon right now, so just northwest of St. Cloud.
Oh yeah, that's where Pete Fisher's from. Doctor guy.
Yeah. I was listening to that episode or watching that episode. I heard him say that.
Yeah.
So what type of hunting are you doing in Minnesota?
I'm primarily a waterfowl guy. I get out a few times a year to chase pheasants, but other than that, that's really the only upland I do.
Are you running labs?
No. I got a 2.5-year-old golden.
Okay.
Nice. Oh,
I know how much Ron loves those.
Yeah.
There's the first F-bomb, and it's not even 9 o'clock.
I hunted over my first golden last Thursday afternoon. We did flush 2 birds. They were jumpy, but I was with Simon Tidga, who you met up with at Grouse Camp last fall, Ron. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. So, is this let me guess. Do you use your golden for flushing in hunting pheasant?
Well, with pheasants, it's kind of whatever he wants to do.
Okay, typical golden. All right.
Yeah, most of my training with him is centered around waterfowl. So when I get him out on pheasants, we're both kind of learning. So he just kind of runs around, and if he chases up a bird, I shoot it.
All good.
Brock says that it better flush. So is it? Are you running in any HRC with him, or are you pretty much just training a meat dog?
Ooh, yeah, that's so. I ran him in 2 AKC hunt tests this last summer.
Started?
Yep, junior hunter.
Okay.
They didn't go well, and is typical. It's my fault.
Always is.
Yeah, I was told over and over and over again, if you're going to run them in the hunt test circuit, you got to force fetch. Mm-hmm. So I proceeded to ignore that. I didn't force fetch, and both tests he refused to pick up the bird. So
I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask this question. Did the dog ever pick up a duck in the water before that day?
Oh, yeah. Dead ducks all the time.
It was a shot flyer that was the problem then?
Yep, both times.
Got it. Yeah, you got to shoot birds for your dog.
Yeah.
HRC is probably a better place to start if you haven't had a chance to do that. But you're going to go back and do it again?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually linked up with a guy who lives near me, Gordy Schlichting. He's the president of the Minnesota Hunt Test Association for receivers, and he runs golden retrievers in hunt tests. So he agreed to work with me a little bit and show me the ropes.
Cool.
Okay. So have you been out? You've been out duck hunting yet this year?
I got out for early goose season.
Okay.
I got out twice.
How's numbers look?
We saw plenty of birds. There's also a learning lesson that I need to get back to the trap range.
Come on.
Get on the ski range or the sporting clays range.
Are you shooting with feet down and missing, or are you trying to shoot up at 60 yards?
No, they were the first day they were all hanging out around that 40 to 50 yard range. We couldn't get them to come into the decoys. But the second day we had no excuses. They were coming in feet down, and we had one group, about 12 of them, coming in feet down. And me and my hunting buddy, we both emptied our guns and not a single goose fell out of the sky.
Well, at least tell me you're using a 410, so we have that as a reason.
I mean, I can lie to you if that's what you want to hear.
Can we get him like
maybe
can we
maybe-
get Eric a participation ribbon?
yeah.
So are you doing a lot of do you do a lot of goose hunting then?
Yeah, I mean that's my favorite hunt to do, the goose.
Okay.
That's
So you put the work in, did the scouting, you found the field, or were you more running traffic?
No, we actually. So I kind of got it easy. There's my parents' neighbor. He's got a farm. It's got a bunch of ponds, and it's like clockwork. You can set your stopwatch to when they're coming in. But so we set up on those ponds, knew when and where they'd be coming from. But I mean, we did get a few birds, but it was a humbling lesson.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here poking fun, but I'm pretty sure that we're going to hear something very similar from Tyler, my first sharp-tail hunt. So I should just bite my tongue because I'm guaranteed I'll be in the same boat.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming. My time is coming. And
That's
I better
all right.
see
We
in
all
the
have
comments making fun of me too.
Is Minnesota waterfowl opener this weekend, Eric?
No, so it's not until
It's another week.
Yeah, I think the early goose season closes or it ends this weekend. Could be wrong with that. It might have ended last weekend, but it ends either last weekend or this weekend, and then it is closed for a week, and then I think it's the first weekend of October. Opens back up.
So is your limit 5 then, right now?
Right now, yeah, for geese.
And then it drops
5.
down to 3 in October.
Yeah.
Okay. How did elk hunting go?
Terrible. The area we were hunting had a bad storm come through like 4 days before. They dumped about 18 inches of snow. And it chased them all out of there. We went 8 days.
Really?
Yeah, we moved to 3 different spots, and we didn't hear a single bugle the entire time.
Oh man, that's rough.
Were you using archery or gun?
Archery. Well, 2 of us in our group were archery. 1 had a muzzleloader tag. So.
Okay.
Well, what state were you in, Eric?
We were in Colorado.
My son-in-law Adam, he went out there to do an elk hunt, 2nd year in a row with a buddy of his. He works for Rusted Rooster out in Midland. So all of a sudden the boss says, well, let's get some footage. Let's send the cameraman out there. And they didn't do very good. And that storm that came through about 2 weeks ago, 10 days, whenever it was, he was sleeping in a hammock between 2, I guess, whatever those pine trees are, them shitty lodgepole pines. And the wind came through and took the tree over that was holding his hammock up on one side.
No way.
Yeah.
That'd be scary.
That storm blew in, and all of a sudden they're up like in the middle of the night, like, we got to pack. We got to get out of here. Trees are just blowing over. The snow's coming in.
Lee got hurt, didn't he?
He got hurt. His
leg or ankle or something.
His buddy Lee.
Yeah.
They were trying to get out. They said, we got to get out of here. They literally left their camera gear, bundled, but they said, we just got to get off this mountain. And then the trees kept falling over the trail, and they went off trail, and then Lee slid down some embankment, and they thought he broke his ankle, but it was sprained so bad he couldn't walk.
And he's a pretty incredible athlete too.
He's a CrossFitter.
Yeah.
He can hop on one leg longer than most people can. And my daughter says, you ain't going back to Colorado elk hunting. Because she got a call from one of the Kiefer brothers that does Drop Project Alaska. And the message is, hi, Kel, Casey Kiefer here. Have you heard from Adam? That's the last call she wants to get.
Yeah.
No, why would I hear from Adam? Well, I guess there was a bad storm and we don't know where they're at.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So, Eric, stick to the bird hunting. Get out of it. Don't go in the mountains. That's bullshit.
Yeah. I got a sunburn sharptail hunting, but that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, there were entire slopes of the mountains that were just not a single tree standing. They were all laid over.
Yeah.
Did you put eyes on any animals, or was it just a total strikeout?
We saw 1 elk on day 6 running away from us 80 yards away.
That's tough to keep the mojo in the group up.
Oh man, it was a grind for sure this year.
I bet.
You might as well have brought your golden retriever out there.
I know. I mean, at least you could have got some exercise with me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are cross over the real quick. What was the unit you were in?
That was the unit Wish You Knew. No, I think I was in 161.
I wish I knew.
Yeah, Wish You Knew. I like that.
Wish
That's a
You
good
Knew.
one.
That was pretty clever. So why don't we, Eric? Thanks for jumping on. We appreciate it. And,
yeah, absolutely.
Good luck. Rest of the season, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Absolutely, anytime.
All right, see ya. Hey, my daughter just jumped on. Hi, Mackenzie.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, that's my daughter.
And thank you, Brock guy, for noticing that I dressed up. I have a plant.
Just got a plant there, yeah.
Got a plant in the back.
Really broke things up.
I dressed it up a little bit.
And you see how he's wearing the gray shirt too. Gray shirt, gray wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
I just wanted to be a floating head.
Look at this wall. Look at this.
You got a good thing going there, Ron.
Oh, yeah, it's just,
I move. Oh, other way. I move my workbench in. I'm not good at like the hunting public guys. They know where to point on the screen. Got a workbench in here.
I'm like this.
Yeah.
What you smoking, Ron?
Well, I was smoking. One of my buddies, one of my listeners, Marco Plaza from Ontario, sent me some Cubans.
I heard that. I heard you talking about that on an episode.
I had that, and then, but I get these little backwoods honey bourbon it feels like when I quit smoking cigarettes, it kind of makes me, just gets the hand to mouth thing going. But I did just get a little deal going with a cigar company out of Chicago.
Oh, come on now.
Oh yeah. I got
It's called Swim Naked.
No, I don't have to swim naked. Here we go. Casa de Monte Cristo. They have 3 stores in Chicago.
Wow.
And sent me a whole sampler, and I'm going to use them on our Zoom room. And Roof and I will be doing cigar reviews in the future.
Well, now that we just did a shameless product placement on Hunter's Happy Hour, I guess we'll just give you our shipping address, and we'll wait for our shipment.
I would think so.
Yeah. I'd like to have a bag before I leave on the 9th. Can you make that happen?
You're going to have to drive down south before you go up north then.
Doug, since my priorities changed a little bit now this fall, it looks like maybe you have to pick me up on your way to North Dakota.
Done. I'm actually going to be rolling through there on the 9th, and I'm going to get a hold of Corey and see if he wants to do a crane hunt on the 10th, and then can just meet me up there, and we could leave on the 10th.
We saw a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but we saw sandhill cranes when we were out tooling around in North Dakota.
I plan on killing a lot of those. I have a bloodthirst going out there, and I plan on killing a lot of stuff.
Let's keep those expectations tempered a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I do know how I shoot.
What are you bringing out there for guns? You bringing a 12 gauge and a 20 gauge or something?
I'm going to bring my 12 pump. I'm going to bring a over and under, and then I'm going to bring my Fox side by side.
Oh, nice.
So I'll only pull the Fox out if I get close to a limit.
Yeah.
Because I need something pretty for a picture, right?
Well, yeah. You want to shoot something that you're confident with, because you go out to a new place. You want to be. Last thing you want to do is miss everything.
Well, I'm gonna do that regardless of what gun I shoot. Though I have been taking. I've had a guy that has been assisting me in acquiring a better shot for the last 4 weeks. So
yeah, I heard about that.
For that, I'm pretty excited. I've shot a ridiculous amount of clays the last couple of weeks, so
that's good.
I'm excited for that and very grateful for his time. But
maybe we should have him on someday.
He might do it. He's a pretty quiet dude.
Okay.
Super cool dude, but he's super quiet. He is he's an editor for a shooting magazine.
Yeah.
So he's pretty well educated. So we probably could learn a lot from him. But I think he's written a couple RGS articles too, hasn't he?
Yeah. I'm blanking on the name. What's his name again?
Dana Farrow.
Yes. Yeah. He wrote a couple of shooting articles. At least one that I read in a recent RGS mag, Covers mag.
Yeah, the last Covers magazine. Yep. And let's see, how you feeling about your shooting? I haven't given it one positive comment tonight, Dryfly, so I'm guessing it's probably not going to be good. I'm gonna under.
You're under promising, and you're planning to over deliver to yourself.
Open to over delivering.
Yeah. That's cool.
So now I know that it's Dave is on the Pike Gear account, so we do got to get Dane on. He agrees. He does know a ridiculous amount of information about shooting.
Yeah.
In the clay sport. So, and he's got a young pup too. So he's kind of getting into the mix of can start the training process. I think his pup's like 3 months old.
What kind of dog?
He's got a Brit.
Cool.
Yeah. But anybody want to take a break?
I will take a quick one. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Ron's gonna go outside and fill a bottle.
See you in a couple.
Is that your second one for the night, Ron?
Second real cigar, yeah. Yeah.
Second real one.
The other one, and it was and it says Habana, which implies Havana, but I might have been hot boxing it a little bit. I might have been, a good cigar. You really don't. You puff it every minute, and I think I get them I treat them a little bit like a cheap cigar, and I smoke them too fast, and it gets a little bitter. But that's a price.
What would you compare it to?
Well, I don't know. First of all, it's a Connecticut wrapper, and I like a Maduro. I like a stronger. I don't like a strong cigar, but I like the Maduro wrapper better. See, that's how dark that is.
Yeah. Huh. Did you? There was somebody asking about Tonga's pants. Did you wear them out while you were grouse hunting?
I did. I'll tell you what. I said it on my podcast this week.
You have a podcast?
Yeah, I do. I started it a couple months ago. It's just a little.
It's Upland Nation, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, Nick! Don't get me started. About every 2 months, I have to look and see what he's done. Right? I get morbidly curious.
Who's this joker?
And oh no,
oh no,
oh shit! And I know he's gonna jump on this. So about every 2 months, I got to see what Mr. Upland Nation has done.
Yeah,
and he had this episode that was 30 years of hunting and 50 tips.
50 what?
Okay, tips, like a tip. I was like, oh my God, this is like listening to dead air on NPR. He's like, another thing I like to do is I bring a lot. I'll bring extra 5 or 6 gallons of diesel fuel with me. And when you stop, maybe that's a time to let your dog out. I'm like, who are you talking to?
Good advice.
We know that Fritz is a pretty religious listener and takes all of those advices from Mr. Scotland to heart, right, Fritz?
What? From
Go back the other way. Look better the other way. Turn it off. There you go. Perfect.
Is that
the dark, shadowy figure is like Michael Myers.
Perfect. Just kidding.
I'm in my truck.
Yeah,
at the end of the driveway.
You must have AT&T.
Why are you in your truck? Yeah, why?
I got kids sleeping and my wife sleeping, and
you got to get control of your kitchen, Fritz.
Yeah, good luck.
How are you, bud?
I'm good. How are you boys?
Not too bad.
A couple beers in, so pretty good.
Yep.
I did not go hunting tonight because it was 72 degrees at 7 o'clock. So I'm both
opening day.
Every other day since the 15th. Good.
I hunted opening day. Yes, and it was underwhelming.
Really?
Best. I think we put, I don't know, we hunted 9 covers for the whole day, and we moved in the teens.
Dang. Yeah, that doesn't sound awesome.
What's a typical opener look like for you?
Depends on weather. Like, the weather was really good this year for the opener. So if we had the wet, it was dry and windy, but it was cool for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But, a typical opener I would expect to be 3 dozen to 4 dozen plus.
Over that same amount of time?
Yeah, over, 7 to 8 spots.
Yeah, okay. I went out. I missed opening day because I was working on vehicles. So my first day came many days after that. But we did. I mean, we hunted for 2 hours and we pushed 8 birds. And the next.
You can't really complain about that, right?
No. I had a young dog. That she got a little bit of work, so she got to get into some decent covers. And got to do a little bit chasing, and I'm assuming that we probably hunted at least within the same county.
Hey, real quick, so I don't lose my sponsor. Brent wants me to talk about the Pike Tongass pants. I will tell you, but I will tell you that I did go on Saturday morning, and we had frost on the ferns, and on the way back out, the ferns were like wet rags, and they are some water repellent sons of bitches. They really are. There you go, Brent. I like them. I'm wearing them right now. Watch. Look. Oh, you can't. Well, my belt's off. Sorry.
Oh, wow. He's got the belt undone and everything.
Well, my belly, it hurts. It hurts to sit on this chair.
Are you the kind of guy that when you go out to dinner, like by the end of the dinner, you got the belt undone?
Oh, yeah. All right. Back to Fritz Grouse report.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried. I still think we're going to have a good season, but we need rain really bad. I mean, I hunted for an hour and a half last night, moved 8, was not disappointed. I was in Ironwood, which is pretty challenging to hunt, but it's every step I take is so loud that, it's just, and there is tons and tons and tons of food right now.
Yeah.
So,
and there's no rain on the forecast. I mean, there's a little bit, I guess, coming on Thursday, but the good news is starting Sunday, we've got 7 straight days of rain coming.
Really?
Well, can't hunt this week because it's too hot. Won't be able to hunt next week because it's raining.
Yep.
Well, then it'll be October.
It'll probably snow after that.
That's my favorite time to go,
Probably.
actually. I enjoy it. So from the time that you have spent out, kind of take opening weekend out, because I know that you do a lot of kind of pre-gaming and getting dogs into shape and just scouting covers. What is what's your forecast look like, or what are your predictions for the season compared to last year?
Up 20 to 25% when it's all over.
That's a lot.
Weather dependent. I don't know what you're feeling like, Nick, or what you're seeing, but.
Well, I only hunted the first 2 days of the Wisconsin season, which was September 18th, and on paper, my numbers were pretty dang good. But again, that early, I mean, you can really get into, we moved a couple broods, so you can really get into them. But we covered ground, and I was hunting marginal cover. I like to mess around a little bit in the early season stuff. I'm not hunting the prime stuff, and I feel pretty good about it, and the reports that I'm hearing from the folks in Minnesota when I was in North Dakota, I think it's good. But yeah, the dry theme is pretty consistent, like across the board.
And it's been really hit or miss. You're either in birds and you're finding a good number of them, or you're just not finding anything at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of empty space out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty typical, though. You missed the wrong 50 yards, but when I'm marching 4 guys and 4 dogs, and we're Vietnam and covers. Here's what I am not finding them where I want to hunt them right now. I'm finding them almost still on a summer pattern, and I have walked out of the season 3 broods that were so young that we didn't even shoot. And if I can identify them that easily on the wing this time of the year that they're just bumblebees, and they're not even worth, there's not much challenge in that program, then I think our hatch was
late,
2 or 3 weeks late on a lot of birds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's pretty small. I saw the same thing in North Dakota. We saw some Sharpies that, I mean, they could only fly 50, 60 yards. They just got up and relit.
Right.
And I saw difference on Huns. We had a couple of coveys of Huns that acted like a covey of Huns, and we had some coveys of Huns that just they weren't bumblebees, but they were just lighting down on the other side of a road from the other side of a road. They way too early to hunt them. So
did Tyler think that was unusual for the time that you were out there?
He didn't say. I don't think he's got enough data. He might have enough data in his head, but I mean real data. But I just noticed, I'm like, I believe the Hun nests earlier than the Sharpie. So there had to be something going on. I know they don't double. They don't have 2 like bobwhite quail. So I think something happened and the weather they had a late hatch. But I mean small. Like you could pick out the, with Huns, you got, if everything's right, the mom and the dad are there. And you'd see them fly, and then you'd see these little birds fly. They're half the size of their parents. Half.
Yeah, and two dry flies comment here about seeing grouse-eyed turkey. I'm just seeing the same thing. I've got young birds in the neighborhood that are turkeys that look like they're only a couple months old.
Yeah.
So if the grouse are kind of following a similar, there's a lot of little ones out there yet.
Fritz, you said you're thinking the grouse are kind of not where you want to hunt them right now. Do you have a real specific early season strategy? What is it? Where do you want to hunt them?
Yeah, I want to hunt them in 15-year-old aspen, because that's where your best shooting opportunities are right now.
Yep.
They're not in that. Like our best spots right now are. So let's see. Opening day, we went through 4 aspen spots, 4 guys wide, 4 dogs, and we were at like 8 flushes. And then we went to alder, dirty, nasty, low, but there's no standing water in the woods right now either.
Mm-hmm.
We went to like just dirty woods, like alder and the kind of stuff where you're either getting a gimme or you're getting no look at all when you move a bird.
Yeah.
And we moved 5 in that spot, and then we took a break, took a nap. I made the boys help me take the dock out, and then we went back out that night, and we went back into this ironwood pattern, blowdowns, brush, the ground cover, non-bracken fern ground cover. And we moved a brood in there and a couple singles, to get to like 17 or whatever for the day. And then that's been the pattern the whole time. Now, Saturday we had the youth duck opener, and Brad came up with his boy and Harrison, and then we took naps again, and then we tried to take them out for Woodcock. And we finally started on Saturday to find some grouse in the aspen, but we were looking for Woodcock. But it was 27 degrees that night. It was cold for this time of the year. And then it turned right around and went right back to hot. And again, last night I didn't have much time, so I just went to a spot that was close and kind of on the pattern. And I moved 8 last night, never pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was still happy to move 8.
Right.
Did I see that you got your boy his first grouse this year?
Yeah, he shot his first duck and his first grouse of his career on Saturday.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah. He said to me, Dad, all I need is a woodcock for a Gordie Howe hat trick of bird hunting. I go, you're right, buddy.
Yeah, love that. Way to go, Harrison.
Both on the wing, right?
They were on the wing.
Fantastic. I know you've invested a lot of time into getting him out and shooting clays.
Yeah, we have rules at our house, about that stuff.
Yeah, Harrison was brought up a little different than me.
Me too.
We have rules.
I was last year. Fritz had me come up to do a shoot with RGS, and Harrison was out with Fritz and his brother and his dad, and I was like, "Wow!" When his kid misses, he's like, "Come on, what are you looking at? Are you looking at the?" I'm like, "Boy, he ain't cutting that boy no slack at all." I like it.
He's 5, by the way. No, just kidding.
Yeah, Ron, you should see me try and coach him in hockey. I mean, that poor kid. Yeah. I mean, his defensive partner might screw up, and I'm still blaming him. So.
Yeah. I at first I felt bad. I'm going, no, this is apparently like a family dynamic. I like it.
Yeah.
If he can handle that growing up, he'll get on in life of like, hey, I'm a little thicker skinned than I am. I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
Yeah. I was proud of him, though. He shot a 12 gauge for the first time this season because, 20 gauge duck loads aren't the way to go through life. And I'm certainly not buying a 12-year-old, really high-end, non-toxic shot for a 20 gauge. And so he's grown so much. I mean, Ron, you'd be shocked if you saw him today. He's 4 or 5 inches bigger and 20 pounds heavier than when you saw him the last time.
Wow, that was last fall. Yeah, that's big.
Yeah. So he shot a 12 gauge of the ducks, and he goes, "Well, Dad, that kicks a little bit more than 20 gauge." I'm like, "Yep, sure does, bud."
Suck it up.
Yep.
Get over it.
He wasn't complaining. He just was making an observation.
Yeah. That's
so
good.
I'm excited, though. He kept up grouse hunting, and, that's last year he had a hard time kind of fighting through cover at times. This year he was cruising right along. I didn't carry a gun for the first 3 spots, and then I felt comfortable enough to kind of put him 20 yards to my right, and, we put him right between Rick and I, and he marched right along.
That's fantastic. How old is he?
He's 12.
He's 12, okay.
Yeah.
And didn't you buy that cocker for him so he could chase that around the woods?
Sure, dog. Whatever you want to tell the wife.
You're not helping me, bud.
I mean, yeah. No, the problem with that is she's hunted with me for 4 or 5 years now. You know what I mean? She's not going to handle him. She's just going to run around in front of me.
Brock guy seems to agree with you about 20 gauge loads on ducks. I plan on killing a lot of ducks with my 20 gauge out in North Dakota, Mr. Brock.
Dude, you can kill anything at 30 yards. Anything.
Yeah. As long as they get in, as long as they finish in the decoys, it don't matter. I'm not sure what Dave's laughing at, whether it's Brock's comment or the fact that he thinks that I might hit a duck. So I'm gonna put you on the spot, Fritz, so you can't say no. Oh, I'm gonna add him to the stream.
Frozen?
Yep, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
I'm gonna put you on the spot so you can't say no. But I'd like to have to basically meet up one day and we'll do some pre-filming and then have you back on and we'll actually kind of dig into deep onto grouse covers and kind of the things that you look for and maybe follow the dogs around and watch how a flushing dog works cover and kind of see what that looks like as opposed to a pointing dog.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I mean, we got to wait for the cover to come down, dog, or we're not going to be able to.
Yeah, I'm thinking once I get back from North Dakota, it'll be towards the end of October. The shuffle will have happened, and Lee's should be down, or even if you be kind of getting into November a little bit.
What are you going to North Dakota to hunt?
Ducks, cranes, sharptails, pheasant, whatever I can kill.
There you go. You're going during grouse season?
I am.
That's kind of what I said.
I got vacation blackout dates starting in November, so I can't go once the blackout dates
start. Don't pick
start.
on Doug for going during grouse season. He's not a traveling wing shooter. He needs to get out there and cross the country.
It's true. Whenever you can do it,
he needs it.
I'm so excited about going out there to kill ducks out there.
Yeah, I would be too after hunting and where we hunt ducks.
It's awful. And I got a little bit spoiled because I grew up on the east side of the state where the flyway is a little bit more predominant. So we see quite a few more ducks coming down on that side of the state than we do. And then I moved over here and the duck hunting, was I actually, that's why I took up grouse hunting, because the duck hunting sucks so bad.
Yeah, but the women are a lot prettier on the west side of the state.
It is. Ironically, that's how I picked moving here. I picked, when I decided where I was going to move after graduation, I picked the city with the best looking girls, and here I am.
Fritz, were you ever a big enough duck hunter to say like did the duck hunting used to be really good in Michigan and now it sucks, or what's the story there?
I'm an absolute neophyte, out of convenience duck hunter.
Gotcha.
So it is the fact that I own a cottage on a lake where I can have a permanent blind.
Yeah.
Or there's no steelhead running during deer season, so I can go wing shooting. Duck hunting is a riot when they're coming in, and it's very social and fun. But if I didn't have the cottage and a beautiful, comfortable blind,
you wouldn't be out there.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So how do your dogs transition? So, as a flushing dog primarily, so they're 90% flushing dog, 10% up or duck hunting dog. So you're taking a completely 90% of the time you're asking them to be independent and borderline out of control, looking, and I know that they're under control, but the act of flushing is an independent job. And then pulling them into a duck blind, how do they transition to that?
Well, we're talking about one of the 3 smartest breeds on the planet, and so we could, in still in the summer, I do enough traditional retriever training. Dog, I get my dogs so they can run a 50-yard blind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we take our oldest, most experienced dog duck hunting, and we go through that rotation between Rick and I, right? So they learn pretty quick that they got to sit there and wait. And then the first 20 minutes could be a struggle. I'm not lying. But then they go, all right, this is what we're doing today.
Yeah.
So they sit down and they wait. And I still maintain enough handle on them that I can get them into the area and then their nose takes over.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. I take Bravo, and I used to take Artie in Virginia when I always dove hunted, which is just like duck hunting kind of. And I would scream at those dogs for the first 5-10 minutes because birds are dropping, but once they're older and you're like, no, you're going to sit. They're like, okay.
Yep.
And they just deal with it. And they're like, oh, this is just as much fun. And I don't have to run. It's not that hard of a transition. As long as the dog understands, like, okay, he really means sit. He really means whoa. I'll scream at Bravo for 10, 15 minutes, and then he just comes back. I'll watch him just like a lab, and he'll be like this. And I'll look, oh, there's a dove. Boom.
I think there's a definite difference between a Bracco's drive and probably the dogs that we're working.
Well, that is very possible.
I'm not saying that he doesn't have drive.
But I would also tell you I did that one with German wire hair that had all the drive in the world. But to go from upland to the sitting, it's a little bit of adjustment.
Yeah.
They'll get it and they'll start liking it. They'll be fine.
I find that I have to, because I do a lot of duck hunting, and I want to keep that very disciplined, because I do the hunt test and I run in that retriever world. I want to keep a very disciplined dog, so I have to keep the balance of upland and retriever work drastically different. So if I do 2 days of upland, or if I'm going to hunt grouse or do 2 days of upland, I know that I've got to make up it with 3 days of getting back to the discipline of the retriever work, just to keep things in check, keep our lines tight and whatnot on blinds.
That's a good subject. If we found somebody who really did like a 50-50 thing, like I got a lab and we kick ass in the woods and in the prairies, and we kick ass in the swamps. That'd be a good person to find.
I mean, Nick Cart's got German short hairs, German wire hairs, and he's almost like 70% waterfowl now, 30% upland.
Yeah.
Nick, and he's pretty dedicated on it, but I'm not going to lie either. I mean, that first 20 minutes, I've got him leashed.
Yeah. Yep.
You're not going anywhere.
Right. And then they settle down. That whining stops after I shock them 3 times. But the older they are, you take them the second time, and it's just not the struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, my brother's legendary dog, Jones, he made the transition easier than any dog we've ever had. It was just like, boom, sit. And until Rick said his name, he damn well sat there.
Yeah.
But that dog wanted to work and understood better than some of our other dogs.
Yeah. So first little change in plans, Minnesota-wise, are you guys still coming over? Are you heading west?
We're working on that right now.
Okay.
My kids are back to school.
Yeah.
Which makes in person. So we think we're still going to come, because if I'm going to get a hunting vacation, I got to be away.
Yeah.
And Carrie and I tried to do a staycation at the cottage, and my mom took the kids, and it's not going to work. And I do desire to hunt new covers every day.
Yeah.
So we're going to try. I mean, we've all got it blocked off. We'll see.
Gotcha.
So
I sent Doug a picture of I was out walking the dog today, and I sent Doug a picture. I just wanted you to see how yellow the aspen leaves and the hazel brush is right now. It's pretty yellow.
1 second, I'll pull it up.
Up by you already, Doug? Or Nick?
By me, yeah. I was out in Duluth today.
So
yeah, I did not. I was hunting just north of Muskegon County, and I thought I found I actually turned in the wrong 2-track with Randy, and I was like, damn it, I got the wrong 2-track. Well, we got out and walked anyway. Then I got into this little creek bottom, and it was tag alders, and I was like, well, there's going to be some birds here. But I mean, there wasn't a leaf turned color yet. Not one leaf.
Well, Ron, I mean, there's real advantage to living on the east side of Lake Michigan, or the west side.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this lake is what keeps our leaves so green for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at that.
Oh,
Nick, I pull up that Minnesota color map all the time.
Yep. The leaf watcher map.
Just trying to gauge when we're on our way over there.
Yeah, I think it's. It's only September 22nd. I would say maybe it has to do with the dry conditions. I don't really know, but they turned yellow while I was in North Dakota. That's for sure.
I think we're actually ahead of schedule on color here.
Yeah.
And some of our ferns are starting to die. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's really not. I mean, we try. The week we try and go is like when leaf fall is happening here, and our birds freak out.
Yeah.
And then we get back, and at least 50% of our leaves are down. But we don't have bear hunting until October 25th, sometimes later.
Yeah, Savvy, probably later.
I gotta share this with you guys. Where's my namesake? It's Ronald Richard Higdon.
Little cowboy.
There he is. There's my
Florida
namesake.
cowboy.
Florida cowboy.
What are they calling him, Ron?
They call him Ronnie.
Ronnie.
Yeah, Mackenzie named. I said, "Well, you're looking for the whole inheritance, aren't you?" And she said, "Yep."
All $27 of it.
Yep.
You got it.
So Fritz, I'm gonna have you leave us with this. Andy asked a question. You mentioned one of the 3 smartest dogs. What are the other 2 if labs are number 1?
Border Collie and the German Shepherd.
I was gonna guess the Shepherd. Yeah.
I was gonna guess a Mal, but all right, Fritz. Well, I appreciate you jumping on. I will reach out to you because I do want to get out and watch you guys run those flushers anyways, and we'll work out sometime maybe late October, early November to get you back on and really kind of dig into the cover.
You don't want to see my puppy work right now. I can promise you that.
Well, you don't want to either unless you want to see her 60 yards out in front of you.
Hey Fritz, real quick, does your cabin have Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
All right, we got to talk tomorrow.
All right. Call me. It's close to a certain Smurf we both know too.
Okay.
You know what Smurf I'm talking about, or a leprechaun?
Yep.
Okay, he's little. He's got a beard. Looks a little Amish sometimes.
I think I know who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cabin's 2 miles from that compound.
Huh.
Okay.
Cool.
So.
All right, man.
All right,
Good luck.
Shoot straight. Keep it safe.
Later, bud. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully getting out and watching him run his labs. I think it'd be cool. All right, so we've got, I think, just
I saw him on
more.
here.
And I see Ted on there too, so we'll be able to finish up with Ted. But we've got Adam and Brooklyn. Do you go by Brooklyn or Brooke?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So
Well, then we'll just call you Mary.
Mary, there you go.
Well, there's better names than Mary, but
Okay, well then pick one, Brooke.
So if we were to add up all of our shooting abilities combined, Brooklyn's a better shooter than all 3 of us.
Oh,
I'll take that at face value.
How did you do at states in the Scholastic shooting final or state finals?
I didn't do the best, but I didn't do the worst. I got
Politician. Go ahead.
72 out of 100.
she shot her average, which is pretty good. I mean,
In nationals, I got 84 out of 100. So
Nice.
yeah.
Brooke, were you down at the Cardinal Center in July?
Not this.
Oh.
Not this time.
You
but
will
last year.
I'll be there next year with CZ. So
grab your gun. So we didn't go this year. We did it virtually this year, not knowing what was going on. We only had 3-4 kids from our team who went down there this year. But come on, bring it over here. But so they did a virtual option for SCTP, which Ron, you saw it.
Yeah.
The amount of kids that are down there, and that was a light year from what everybody said. It's crazy. It's and like David Miller, and so we were eating breakfast at that little, like, it's a bar / kitchen before you go into the whole thing. He came up to the table and he's like, "Hey kids, you look like you're shooting today. Yep. Make sure you shoot your best. Do your best, and that's all you can expect." He had the whole table of CZ there with all different guys and girls doing all different disciplines, and he was up there, introduced himself right away. Super nice. It was great.
Cool.
I was so impressed. I pulled up there. Dave wanted me to come down and do a podcast with couple of the kids we interviewed in October. And I'm like, there's 1,800 kids.
That's incredible.
Wow.
And they're all in high school age, all the way down to like, I think 7th grade or something.
I helped coach, and we start them out in 4th grade.
4th
grade, we go 1-on-1 in 4th grade.
Bless your heart.
Yeah.
We do need Tyler for the 100 out of 100 humble brag.
Yeah, we do need to.
Yeah.
These kids are running around on golf carts, walking with their vests. And I'm like, where in this world do 1,800 kids are running? Nobody got shot, no accidental discharges, and they all get up to the line, and they put me to shame. I mean,
it's great watching one of the kids get up to the line with a bunch of older guys, and they hold their own.
Yeah.
The club that I shoot at is putting in trap houses because there is a program getting started in my home community. So I'm really excited that that's getting established now, because by the time my kid gets to age in 3 or 4 years, it should be up and going. And I know that they've got some grant money, and they're investing a lot of time and effort in getting these trap houses built. So I'm super excited about it.
It's very cool. I never knew anything like this existed until she got old enough. And some of some of your friends.
Yeah, my friend Taylor, she started maybe 3rd grade because her dad is the head coach.
Wow.
So she's been shooting. She shoots
2 older sisters.
Skeet, bunker, and all that.
They're in Colorado right now shooting.
Yeah.
But she's got 2 older sisters. Both had scholarships for shooting, and one is shooting for USA Army right now.
That's fantastic. What kind of gun are you shooting?
CZ SCTP Sterling.
Let's see it.
Nice.
I don't know.
Yep. She bought it. She saved up her money to buy it.
That is fantastic. So, rubber meets road. You got to take some of those shooting skills and put them to good use out in the duck blind for the youth opener.
Yeah.
I got to see some pictures of that. So tell us a little bit about that.
So we woke up around 4:30. We got out there around maybe 5:45. Shooting time was 6:09.
It's probably like a half-hour hike from where we park to where we get out to.
And then around like 6:12, we see some ducks flying. And then we saw a wood duck touch down, and then it lifted up, and then I shot it. So that was my first duck of the year.
Have you shot ducks before?
Yeah, I've got.
I was gonna say her first duck is up on the wall. Let me see if it's that. It's that one right there.
That one.
There you go.
Ring neck. Yeah. We watched a lot of ducks come in and go. Like, if you take a kid hunting, you have to be patient. You have to bring snacks for one, and then you have to be patient.
I didn't even get to my snacks yet.
Uh-oh. You better go give them to her now.
Yeah.
You're on blast.
Yeah.
But then, maybe half an hour went by. I shot 2 blue-winged teal, and then I ended up shooting 2 green-winged teal. And then we waited about 15 more minutes, and then we were done.
It's probably a half hour from us. It's a spot of public land. It's 2 separate ponds or like swampy areas, and we're in the channel in between where there's a beaver dam. So
I got to ask, what part of the country? I didn't get where.
Wisconsin. We are southern Wisconsin. That's close to Lake Geneva. Actually, Salem Auto Sports is real
Oh,
close.
nice.
Yeah, we're real close to Salem Auto Sports. So you have a chance of the ducks like shooting out of the channel in between the two, but you don't. If you don't see them, you don't get a shot at them. But I mean, that's how it works.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say that's usually how the way it works. If you don't
That's
see 'em,
duck
you don't shoot 'em.
hunting. Yeah.
I missed a couple.
Yeah.
Oh, you missed a couple. Oh,
That happens.
Yeah.
Story comes out.
Here, come on. Here.
So did you get to do the whole setup? So I know if you're hunting wood ducks and teal, you'd probably not putting out big decoy spreads and doing any calling. But did you get to work any flocks or any calling?
We put 2 wood ducks and 2 mallards and 2 teal. I
Yeah,
think.
2 wood ducks, 2 mallards, and 2 teals. Just
Okay.
minimal stuff.
No
And that was
spinners?
it.
Cool.
He's not
Yeah.
allowed on the
He's not
Do you use
paying
spinners?
attention. No, we did not. Only I wanted to try to do minimal, and we did not have anything happening. And that was Saturday morning. Saturday morning, we had seen more ducks than what we typically ever do, which was phenomenal. It just worked out right.
I'm super lazy, so I don't even carry that many. And I literally carry a backpack with a spinner on it and a single wood duck pair, and that's it.
Okay.
I'm super lazy when I'm walking back out in state land.
Maybe that's all you need, Doug.
Yeah. Dog on screen.
Yep.
Somebody wants to drink. I feel kind of bad talking about a drinking game with
Oh,
the youngin'
that's a nice short hair.
This is just a sparkling water. Oh, hey, there, bush latte.
I feel less bad now.
Whose dog is that, bro?
Mine.
Nice.
All right. Get that dog up there on camera.
Name?
What's the dog's name?
He's not allowed on the furniture.
Yeah, he knows he's not supposed to be on the furniture.
You got the ears down.
Yeah, he's wondering what's going on.
Good looking boy. How
This
old?
is Lincoln. He's
Lincoln.
3.
3. All right.
So somebody was asking what shot did you use on your ducks?
It is black. I don't want to say it's Black Cloud out of a 20 gauge.
3, 4.
20
It's
gauge
either
duck
number
load.
3 or number 4 shot, but it was Black Cloud. It was either 3 or 4, and it was out of a 20 gauge. I have to grab the box to see it for sure.
Are you using that fancy CZ or do you got a different shotgun?
No, I have a Benelli
M1.
M1.
Nice.
Cool.
That's a very nice gun.
That was the beginning trap gun, and even the CZ. So like I will reload her loads with mech reloaders. So we end up doing a lighter load. We do 7/8 of an ounce instead of a 1 ounce load or an ounce and an eighth.
Yep.
But like National Week, she's about 100 pounds, and you're probably shooting 600 to 700 rounds.
Wow.
In a couple days.
Yep, that'll take a toll.
Wow.
Yeah. So you try, if you can lighten it up, you can. The better it is,
Yep.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was it was Black Cloud and the 20 gauge, and yeah, you can drop ducks with a 20 gauge. They just have to be close. You
Right.
can't sky bust them.
No.
You don't need a 3.5 inch whatever, but as long as they're landing in your face, you can drop them.
Let's be honest. Every bird should be shot somewhat close because we poke out there and we leave a lot of cripples out. So
Yeah, that can happen.
if you're shooting
I can do a
30
hat.
under, you can shoot whatever
Nice
you want.
hat.
Oh, look at that! Look at that!
Styling. Was that like that was
can only
early
say
we sent
soggy
you that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I gotta ask, Brooke, how did you get red hair? Who's got red hair in the family?
My grandma. on my
Grandma,
mom's
there you
side.
go. Gifts of generation, they say. I don't know if that's true, but
Oh, it can. It can.
My
So are
sister
you-
is like white blonde.
Yeah. And what hair I have left is blonde, but for the most part.
Whoops, I'm on mute. I'm sitting here talking away. What other type of hunting you got planned for the year? Do you have you got somebody named Nick giving you a shout out? Are you planning on doing some upland hunting with Lincoln this year?
Yes. We go to a pheasant club. And and he hunts with us. And
So yeah,
and we may go to South Dakota.
Cool.
During Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and this coming weekend, I just got back from loading up a trailer, a buddy's trailer, because this weekend we are heading out to South Dakota for the opening for waterfowl.
Ah, nice.
Oh, nice.
And then we will bring our families back and go during Thanksgiving is the idea behind it, and be able to shoot pheasants and get our dog on pheasants.
So does the whole family hunt? Does mom and siblings?
Go for it. Mom goes with. Mom will
goes
hike
with.
along, but she doesn't shoot.
That's cool.
My sister Cora, she doesn't hunt, but she's shot before. So she's only 8, right?
Yeah. So
double check.
Saturday duck hunting, she dropped 5 ducks. It was a phenomenal day. Like to shoot in where we're at in Wisconsin, if you can shoot 5 ducks, it is incredible.
That's incredible.
Like typically you get a flight that comes in and you're like, oh, I should have did this or I should have did that.
Sure.
We couldn't have called, stop calling. Sunday we go out, same spot. There were 2 ducks that she possibly could have had shots at, but didn't. So I'm like, okay, we get back. My wife was gone, and my 8-year-old, I'm like, we're going for a hike, and we're bringing the dog. Hopefully we can take the dog to a spot where potentially you could jump a duck. So we're on another spot of public land. We're between knee-deep and high-deep, like waist-deep grass. Lincoln's on point. Like, all right, we'll see what happens. He moves about 10 feet. He's on point again. All right, one more time. He moves again. He got sprayed by a skunk. I'm like, son of a gun.
Oh, man.
Second time now.
Yeah,
Talk about a tease.
German dogs.
Yeah, so I wonder. So this year we're going to try grouse hunting in northern Wisconsin because we're only 15, 20 minutes from the Illinois border. So we're about as far south in Wisconsin as you can get.
Yeah.
But we're trying grouse hunting up by like Hayward area. We'll see how it goes.
Hey,
Man,
when are you going up there?
October. So everything I've read about is October. So I'd like to go early October and like to go late October because Thanksgiving we're going back out to South Dakota.
Well, you're not that far. I mean, that's not down the corner, but you're not that far from me. You reach out to me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So to give it a try, I'm like, man, if he gets intact with gets close to a porcupine, I am sure he is going to be all over it and eat this. He's going to get a face full of quills.
We do have those, yeah. But from everything I hunted 2 days in Wisconsin already. What I'm seeing and hearing, it's a good year to venture north. So yeah, you let me know.
That's our game plan. So hopefully this coming weekend in South Dakota, possibly the following weekend, which would be the first weekend in October, to go up there, and we'll go up there. And it'll be our first time grouse hunting. Other thing is turkey hunt. So there's turkey tails behind us.
Yeah.
I see that.
She's shot more turkeys than I have, but that means I'm a good guide, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever you need to do to sleep, man.
If nothing else, you're a good dad, for sure.
Yeah.
I've shot
You shot 4 so far.
4, and you've shot 2.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Well, you're doing a heck of a job, man.
So we give it a shot, literally.
And only missed 13% of the time, or 17% of the time.
Yeah. Keep it up, Brooke.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Ted Summers, I sent some pins. Ted, this is your call out, man. If you're still here, and I see that you are, click on the link.
He's got nothing to do. He's coming on.
Yeah, you've got nothing to do. You're being a nomad, rolling around North
Ted,
Dakota. So you got to jump on.
I
now.
reached out to Ted when he was on Hunter's Happy Hour.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he hooked me up with some Onyx maps.
That's what he just said. I sent him some pins.
Yep.
Yeah.
To your best spots,
they're
Nick.
my best spots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
you're talking to the right guy. That's for sure. Ted knows
correct.
birds.
I'm like, if he's a surveyor and he reads maps and he enjoys the same thing we do, he's the guy I should go after.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. Good night.
Adam, have you ever run the pup at Bong or in New Munster?
Yes.
Yep.
So what I try to do for New Munster is when they start releasing pheasants, I will try to go out there, have them on leash, and try to pick up a pheasant before I go to work. So
you have lunch.
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily have lunch. I will say that the teal that Brooke shot, she ended up cooking for dinner last night, which was pretty
I've
good.
seen pictures of that on her Instagram.
Yep.
And she cooked it at the right temperature too. None of that well done crap.
No, yeah, you don't want that. It's like beef jerky.
Perfect.
It was it looked absolutely perfect.
Yep.
So I'm gonna have you guys leave us with this. Somebody asked earlier when you first jumped on, it was a question for Brooke. What is your number one piece of advice for being a crackjack shooter? And
don't get in your head when you miss, because there's always next time.
Short memory.
Have a memory like a goldfish. 2 milliseconds. All right.
Is that a fact?
It is. I think it's probably correct. It's probably more than 2 milliseconds, but it is pretty ridiculously low.
We get the idea.
You get the idea. Well, congratulations on an awesome opener, and I like following along with you. I like watching the pictures and seeing what you guys are doing. So keep up the awesome work, Dad, and I'm sure we'll meet up soon. I got to talk to Adam a lot earlier as I was trying to be a cheapskate and working on my truck.
Yeah, as you can see, I still got my uniform.
As you can see, he's a mechanic.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
I hope I see you in the Cardinal Center next year, because that was an event that I could not believe happened in this country. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Well, depending on how the election goes, you may not have that ability next year.
No, I think that'll still run. I don't know, but I think that'll still run.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys have a fantastic evening.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
All right, Ted. This is last call, man. The degenerates are asking for you, man. So
is he
click on
done?
the link.
You had to send him a link. We're waiting for him to check in.
Yep, I have the link. He's seen the link. All he has to do is click.
Man, he's his hunt is over. Well, he might be hunting tomorrow, but he is parked and camped somewhere out in the Great Wide Open, and he's been chasing birds for like the last 4 or 5 days, putting on a clinic, showing us how it's done. Ted knows how to do it.
There he is.
Is he showing up?
Yep, he's coming.
I'm trying.
He's trying. What's up, buddy?
Teddy.
Hey, I'm trying to get the didn't realize
lighting.
The wind is,
Oh, that's really attractive.
I kind of pictured you to be sitting at a bonfire drinking a bourbon with
Well,
bird
this is what
dog
I
on
got.
each side.
so I lost my light on my phone because I'm using this camera. So you got.
This looks like The Exorcist.
It does.
Here's what's going on. Can you see that?
Fitzy.
Yeah, quit. You're
Where's
moving
Fitzy?
around too fast, bud.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just on cell phone signal. My Wi-Fi doesn't work very well.
We can hear you just fine. Your video's a touch stuttery, but we can hear you.
Can you see the boy?
Yep.
There he is. There's Fitzy.
Fitz, come.
Come on, Fitzy.
Yeah, this is all you need for the show, anyway. Right here.
Yeah.
Dog on screen.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll try and hold really still. I didn't catch the first part of your broadcast, but what do you got going on? You're just running down what's happening in the world?
I mean, just want to get kind of bird reports and see how everyone's doing on the first kind of opening weekend. I guess we're a little bit further into opening weekend. I guess we're 2 weeks in, and you're doing a little different. You kind of left for the opener, and you're being a nomad around North Dakota, sleeping out of your truck.
I was having some serious withdrawals about 2 weeks ago with all the talk about seasons coming around, and I've gone out to the prairie hunting sharptails. I think 6 of the last 7 years, and so to think about not doing it this year, because originally we had some house building and construction plans, but once it looked like I had a gap there, I pushed pretty hard with my wife and said, I'd really like to go. So literally last Sunday decided to go, and then turned around and drove west while Nick and Garrett were out here. Nick probably covered his hunt out here, but I missed that. But
yep.
Met up with them, did some hunting, but I did go out grouse hunting opening day at home with the boys and my wife in the rain. We went for a walk. Forecast called for most, just like everybody else probably talked about, it was rainy and soggy, but the dogs were all ramped up, ready to go. So I wanted to take them for a short walk, and the boys were driving. Both my wife and I are a little crazy because of the rain in the house. So she spontaneously said, "Hey, I want to go along too." So we all went. Everybody went, and we didn't move any grouse. Both the dogs pointed some woodcock, and we all got wet. But we didn't go to any spot that I would consider, like my prime grouse spots. It was just trail walking, and it rained steady the whole time. Had to stop several times to dump water out of my 3-year-old's boots.
I seen that in your story. That was pretty funny. He's a trooper, man, for handling that the rain and plugging along and keeping up. And
yeah, he's just getting into it now. He really is bonding with my older short hair, the 6-year-old or almost 6-year-old short hair Tika. He tells everybody that's his dog. And so whenever, like now when I'm out here in North Dakota hunting, any birds that we get, I got to take a picture with Tika with the bird, and I got to send it to Mom, and he's got to see it. FaceTime. He wants to do FaceTime. So
he's already hooked.
Oh, well, we'll see. I did shoot a couple times with him, and one time randomly out of the blue, not during hunting. One time he did tell me that, oh yeah, we're gonna go hunting, and then he said, oh, it's gonna be loud, and so that was a subtle reminder to me that he's pretty young yet, and to make sure to pay attention, kind of like gun breaking a dog,
Yeah.
So how's the hunting been out in North Dakota?
Hunting out here has been fantastic, like it always is. I got my butt kicked today. I tried hunting some terrain I've never hunted in before, which is like the Badlands country. It kind of breaks. Actually, I'll put a hot spot on it because it won't matter, because I didn't see or get to handle many sharptails. Was the Little Missouri grasslands. A lot of people go there. A lot of people know about that. But
million acres.
Yeah, there's not one certain spot that I can highlight for anybody. But yeah, every day into birds. Some days they held better than others. Nick maybe talked about that, but I got lucky, got some good dog work. My older dog is pretty experienced in the sharptail world, and she seems to just figure out a way to get on them. And, a lot of people talk about a staunch dog pointing and not moving, and then there's another school of thought about tracking dogs versus true dogs, and she's what you call a tracking dog. So she'll point, and if she knows she's not right on top of the bird, as I get up to her, she tracks. And that out here on the prairie is pretty effective because the birds sometimes can be pretty far away. And so I've had really good shooting opportunities over her pretty much every hunt she's gone on, except for today in the Badlands. So, and then I got a little setter Fitzy boy there. He runs pretty hard. He runs 100 miles an hour and stops stock still on his points with that tail straight up in the air, which is pretty exciting to see it out there 200 yards. Some of the shooting opportunities with him have been a little tougher for that reason. The birds are further away, and then when I try to flush and nothing flushes, and then I let him go, we've had some rough handling on relocating, and some blustery days and warm days, but I could make excuses and say you shouldn't be bumping those birds, or the scenting is tough, but that's what makes a real good bird dog. Is at 1.5 years old, he got 100 contacts, or 60 to 80 contacts. I was thinking about it, and coming back in future years, he's just going to have that experience to do even better. So
are you bouncing around to campgrounds, or are you just sleeping on public land?
I'm just sleeping in the back of my truck. Some road turnoffs, that are like gravel landings one night on the way out here. But yeah, I'm pulling onto, I don't know if I should say this out loud. I don't know if it's legal or not.
Nobody's listening.
You're not bothering anybody.
Nobody's listening.
I'm just trying to find level spots on public land where I can park, where my truck is not seen from the main road, and then I just crawl in the back of the truck and sleep. So.
Yeah, I see you had a little cot that you'd stuck back there.
Yep. Yeah, I've got the dog kennels on the side, and I borrowed a cot from my dad, but I've got a short box truck. It's not exactly a stellar setup, but I got to leave the back of the truck open. But the nights are nice. Tonight is like 55 degrees and breezy after being 90 degrees today. So the sleeping is going to be awesome.
How many more days do you have out there?
I'm going to hunt tomorrow morning early and then head back. So I'll be home by late Wednesday night, and then Friday night I head to Eagle River Grouse Camp with RGS as a volunteer. That'll be a good time. I saw Ron there last year, so that's happening on Saturday. But people are showing up Friday night.
You going up, Ron?
No, I couldn't get up there because I got a trip planning up with the bear hunt and the grouse hunt. So
that's right.
I wanted to, but I couldn't do both. But that was fun. I mean, Ted took some people up last year. They got their first birds. That RGS grouse camp is. I know Lori Stork. She puts on a thing, but I love the fact that grouse camp was so informative and so educational. Before I let you go, the people were just like, they were chomping at the bit to go, and we had a lot of successes, and it was a great camp. I'll do it next year if they have it next year. But
I bet they will.
I'm not sure if you know or not. They wanted to try to do this in several spots. Of course, with COVID this year and everything was screwed up. But are they going to try to expand on that next year? Or do you have any idea?
I have no idea. The plan was this year they were going to do it in Minnesota, but Nick probably knows better than I do what future plans are there. But they were going to do it in Minnesota, ended up canceling it because of the COVID restrictions, because of the venue wasn't able to accommodate. But where we had it last year in Eagle River, it's wide open. We can have I almost called it a circus tent, but
yeah, it is.
A big. Last year we had like 100-person tent, which you see for outdoor weddings and stuff, but they're actually going to extend that and have multiple, so that everybody can be under the tent, able to listen to the presentations outside without classroom confinement. So all the presentations are going to be outside, all the banquet is going to be outside, and then the volunteers that are taking people out hunting are going to meet up in the same area and just take off and go hunting. And it's going to be a good time. I know last year, Ron, you remember interviewing Simon the German, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned him earlier.
Oh yeah, I suppose Nick probably covered that, but man, I was thinking about that with my solo time out here, Nick, looking up at the stars and drinking whiskey. Was like, here's this German dude, we met him at grouse camp, had never hunted really seriously and was getting into it, and now we're out here in North Dakota, and I was just tickled pink for him to shoot a couple birds over my dog, and it's just an indicator of what a little outreach can do.
Yeah. And his attitude for somebody that's basically in their second upland season, I was just so impressed with the way that he's going about things, and he's got the beginner's mind, and he's everything that Ted says, and going for walks with people. Yeah, very, very cool to see. I've only spent so much time around adult onset hunters, if you want to call them that, but yeah, Simon's he's a heck of a role model for being his second upland season.
Yeah. That guy has he jumped in this with both feet.
Yep.
He did not care if it was cement boots or waders.
Yep.
He was like, I'm in it. I want it. And
I will say we can't blow. It's past 9 o'clock, right? Yeah. So is this the happy hour portion? Where you can.
Yeah,
say,
we're actually quarter
okay.
after past
way
quit time.
Way over.
So we can't blow rainbows up Simon's butt too much. So we're taking a walk. He shoots 3 sharp tails on our walk. I had already shot mine. I had already shot birds. So he was pumped. Tika had some nice, real good bird work, pointing, tracking, relocating, etc. And he killed the birds. And that guy would not stop talking the whole time. And we took it was I think it was a 4-mile walk. But he did commit a faux pas, and I didn't say anything about it. But toward the end, then I went into this was a good area for Huns too, and I had shot a Hun earlier, and we both could shoot, so we continued to hunt hard. And Tika hunts two objectives, so if she sees a bush, she runs way over to get downwind of it and comes back. And Simon did say one time to me, "Hey, I think you should call your dog." And I was just like, no, I think she's okay. She'll come back. Don't worry.
That's because he's used to hunting over Shooter, the golden retriever.
Yeah, he'll get a kick out of that if he sees this. So
oh yeah,
it's just a gentle, like I did catch myself kind of smiling to myself, like, oh yeah, he is still pretty new. We'll give him a break.
Yeah.
But
all right, boys. Well, we are a bit past quitting time.
Yep.
So we appreciate you jumping on, Ted. I've been enjoying the stories. I love watching you taking the kids out in the grouse woods. I think it's super cool. What I'd like you guys to do once we end this broadcast is I would like you to go into the comments and tell us what you think of this format. Good, bad. Give us some feedback. Not that we would want to do this, I'll back to back, but I think a couple times periodically through hunting season just to get updates and to kind of put faces to the names. I think would be super fun. So put us in, and then also if you are somebody that is doing a lot of hunting and you would like to be asked to jump on and come share your story, also put that in the comments.
Yeah, give us a little local intel. If you're from Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado, wherever you're from, if you have a little intel and you're hunting, Doug will hook up with you and give us a little intel, because this is hunting season. Now we want to go hunting, but we love hearing about other people hunting.
Yeah.
Yep.
We live vicariously through other people.
Absolutely. So do us that favor. Make sure you go in and leave us those comments after we end. If you have not already followed us or subscribed to our channel, make sure you subscribe to the Hunters Happy Hour. Give us a share. Tell your friends. Give us a thumbs up. Do all the things that help us grow. And we will see you all next week.